In this particular year, I'm sharing my own personal journey that I made in 1978 during this exact period, from March 26th to May 4th. And I'm sharing it with you, a fascinating journey that's called Mahayoga or Siddha Yoga. It is a journey where we become awakened in a very natural and spontaneous way. And the Kundalini power within us, which is the evolutionary power, which I will speak about in more detail, becomes awakened within us and takes us on a fascinating journey. She's a guru within. She's a God within. She's the spiritual power within. She's the divine energy within. She's the evolutionary energy within us. She comes alive within us. And the beauty about this is the journey happens in a spontaneous way and in a natural way. She moves up, clearing the space, purifying the space, opening up our spiritual centers, opening up our consciousness until ultimately she leads us to freedom, where we become merged in her. We begin to act in and from her. We become an instrument of her. And that's when life really becomes a joy and a play. Amidst the temporary nature of life, we begin to feel joyful and detached and to play. And that's being immersed in our spiritual existence, in our immortal existence. And our life is not dependent on the physical body and its survival and power modes, but our life becomes related to our spiritual being and its immortal existence and its state of happiness inside of us. So that is a switch. Mahayoga is an amazing science in that you don't have to force the spiritual journey. You don't have to determine where you want to go. That awakened energy inside of you will guide you on the journey, as my journey was guided. I never had to determine what the next step was. My awakened being led me to the next step. And from step to step, my journey was driven, guided by that spiritual energy that I gave attention to. So you learn in these 40 days how to recognize the signs of spiritual awakening, how to allow that awakened energy to guide you to a greater level of spiritual discipline, spiritual awareness, sustained awareness, and how to work in this co-creative atmosphere of grace that holds us all in this space. So it becomes a space, a phenomenal space. And of course, we have the discipline of yoga, hatha yoga, the physical discipline. We have the discipline of meditation. We have the discipline of community work, seva. We have talks every morning given by me. We have meditation periods every day that I'll be involved in with all of you who will be here. And we have periods of chanting. Then chanting is a beautiful spiritual exercise that can further the development, the spiritual development of our spiritual being in a marvelous and exciting way. The way of music and the way of melodies, the way of mantras, and the way of using the voice, experiencing its spiritual dimension or power. So we have the silent periods of meditation. We have the reflection that you can have in my talk every day. You can have the beautiful company, conversations with me, conversations with each other, and a very disciplined environment. So from the moment we wake up in the morning, 4:30, 5:15 in the meditation hall, the chanting of the Guru Gita in mornings, the chanting of the Shiv Mahimna, Stotram at night, meditation periods during the day, afternoon conversations and community seva periods. So every day is structured, it's disciplined, it's full of joy, inspiring. These days begin, the whole place here at the ashram in Trinidad takes a different kind of energy form. The atmosphere of the ashram becomes like an envelope, holding all of us in a space of grace, a space of light. We all feel divinely guided during the period. And the synergy of the space is immense. People have all kinds of deep experiences of shift simply by being here and being immersed in the spiritual discipline of the period. Each year, it's phenomenal, it's unique. Over the years, I've done retreats based on Kundalini energy that I did in 2009, energy awareness and mastery, and then I did secrets to true well-being, co-creation of a new world, a multidimensional approach. I did uncovering your infinite self, making the shift, self-mastery, the practice, self-mastery. And so all these are great preparation for this particular year when I choose the subject of Mahayoga. The goal of human existence is really to shift the consciousness from physical being to spiritual being, from physical awareness to spiritual awareness. It is in spiritual awareness that you will really be able to feel the power that you have as a spiritual being. We are not physical beings. By no means are we physical beings. We live in a physical body, but we drive this body from a spiritual place. From a metaphysical point of view and from a spiritual point of view, the body is driven by a spiritual being or a subtle energy being or a subtle body. And the mind is in that body, emotional being is in that body. The power of intentions and desire and drive is from that body. So really coming into soul awareness, making the shift into soul awareness, is what will take us on the journey to freedom, ultimate freedom. And we call that freedom moksha. When you come to our ashram, or when you come for guidance from me, I try to lead you to that state of moksha, because I believe that if you are able to come into that space of freedom, then you can really enjoy the goals of life. Then you can really be stable in your righteous values, or spiritual values, or human values. Then you can really enjoy the pleasures of life without being attached to them in a more detached way. And then you can really acquire things that make you comfortable, or what we call the human wealth, artha, without being attached to any of them. So that space of freedom, that spiritual space of freedom, gives you that quality of detachment. Not depending on human existence, but enjoying it. But your happiness, your joy, comes from the spiritual being within you, that inner space. So what we try to do in these 40 days is to give you the opportunity to make another shift in your consciousness on your journey from human consciousness to spiritual consciousness. Of course, this cannot happen in a day or even a few days. We've been journeying through lifetimes to achieve this goal. But in every lifetime, we can make a significant shift. That's why we are in the lifetime. So to help you on this journey to freedom, to happiness, to contentment, these 40 days can become very valuable. Join with us in this marvelous period, auspicious period of spiritual discipline, and make another shift on your journey to personal soul evolution. It's going to be a marvelous period. Already we can feel the energy of the period, and already we are preparing for it. Even though you may be remotely away from us, but by joining us on live stream and by staying with us during the day in terms of your consciousness, and reflecting upon the talks that we are giving, joining us in the meditation periods when you can, even remotely, you can have a marvelous experience of being essentially together with us. Physical bodies may seem to separate us, but really you can be completely immersed in the spirit of the ashram here in Trinidad if you're joining us in the spiritual discipline, even if you're far away physically. So it's a marvelous spirit to join us in this global circle of spiritual discipline with the theme of Mahayoga, a very powerful, exciting theme that can really inspire you to enjoy this journey of personal discipline to spiritual freedom. So we welcome you to the 40-day period with all of our heart, and a warm invitation, if you can, to visit us, even if it's for 1 week, or to join us via the live stream. Have a blessed day, everyone. Namaskar.